Okay, I think we're streaming. Um, sure looks like we are. Nobody's viewing at the moment. I'm not surprised by that 'cause I haven't published the link to this. But I'd just like to say this is simply meant to be a tech rehearsal. That is, people who want to participate in the next Wow Signal pub can come in here and check out whatever they want to check out, their audio, their video, whatever. Just make sure that everything's working, so we don't have to debug that in real time during the pub. Right now, it looks like nobody's. It was a short notice invitation, so I understand that. But I'll keep this open for a little while longer in case somebody shows up, wants to see how they sound. And after this is over, I'll have a look at the YouTube video. Now, right now, my lighting I know is terrible, but you don't really want to see me in my full glory anyway, so I'll just leave the lighting terrible for now. I'll fix it when it comes to the next pub. And of course, for any real podcast episodes, we'll do we'll do the video as best we can given the circumstances. Now it's Friday night, and I'm lucky that my kids are not down here partying. So I have a little quiet to work with. That's great. If you want to stop by, stop by. I'm going to grab the link to this live video as soon as I can. There's also a chat, and see, what's the stream settings? Stream URL. I'm going to copy that. I'll see if I'll put it on Twitter and anywhere else it might want to go. Go to Wow Signal Podcast on Twitter and or Wow Signal Team, I guess it's actually called. It's at Podcast Wow. Just go to that. You'll find it there. Just posting the URL. See if that works. I don't. Does it work? I don't know. For a while since I used OBS, finding many of the new features in OBS a bit confusing. I'm finding also that some of the things were working just great. Why did they change them? You know, I'm old. I say things like that. It's also the first time in a while I've done anything live on YouTube. Now, I'm not expecting anyone to watch this, but you know, if you happen to stumble across it, feel free to hang in there for a few more minutes. I won't be here long. I just wanted to say I miss both the Unseen podcast and the Wow Signal podcast for reasons that I'm not going to disclose publicly. I have not been able to really put my heart and soul into those in 2 or 3 years. And so I have not done anything. I mean, we really ended the Unseen podcast in 2016 or 2017, and the plan then was to take the best things about the Unseen podcast, which was group participation and having a lot of discussion before and after the show, along with the spontaneity of being live and being really not rehearsed or scripted. So, or for that matter, it was completely uncut, unedited. So that was good. We can refine that a bit and make it into something that the Wow Signal podcast can use. Um, the open participation thing, that was an idea I had that I thought might work. It didn't for me. Maybe somebody else can make it work. I hope that somebody can. The idea there is that anyone who signs up to be on the podcast can sign up to be on the podcast as long as they meet some uh, very simple criteria. That is basically participating in the pre-show discussion and actually having some interest in the topic and we even so we would bandy the topic around quite a bit. What should the topic of the show be? And if we had a guest, of course, that kind of narrowed it down a bit. But for the most of the shows, we didn't have a guest, so we would just whatever people showed up to talk, but I found myself dictating the topic more often than not, which was not the plan. And I also found myself having to push things along too much and not getting a lot of pre-show discussion. I know people are busy. I know people have other things to deal with, but that was the plan, and it didn't work for me. My lack of charisma is very well documented. So the after about 100 episodes or so, the Unseen podcast was formally and officially retired. The Wow Signal was not. The Wow Signal was more structured. It was more a small team deciding what to put out, usually me. And sometimes Danielle and DePaulis would participate, sometimes somebody else. I got a few bursts from Nick Nielsen and others, but most of the work was mine, and most of the content was me and a guest. I was really proud of some of the content, in fact, much of the content. There's only one interview I never put out. And if you were to listen to it, you'd not regret that I didn't put it out. Now, the only thing that I would say now is that I do miss it. I miss the Unseen podcast, but I don't want to go back to that grind. So we won't do that again unless somebody else really wants to take the reins and I could just participate as a minor character. I don't want to be the star of the show. If you want to do that, the offer was put out early on. If somebody wants to take this over, take it over. Nobody agreed to do it. The offer stands. I will pay for the hosting. Not terribly expensive, frankly. I will pay for the hosting. I will show you how to do everything, but I will not be primarily in charge. I think it was fun and it was productive, and we had a lot of good apps on the Unseen podcast. I would say more apps than most podcasts, good apps than most podcasts have, and a pretty low BS rating. And most of the BS came from me. So the Wow Signal, I put more effort and more structure and more control into. I scripted a lot of the episodes, at least the non-interview part. I did multiple takes sometimes of the scripted parts, and just put a lot of effort into it. It took a lot of time. Every episode was many hours of work. I have a full-time job. I still do. I'll be retiring hopefully in 2 or 3 years, but that's not certain. And so that kind of time and that kind of effort, I don't just have willy-nilly. I have to take it from other things. And, well, Mr. Nilly intervened a few years ago and took that time away from me. Um, it's coming back. It's coming back. My kids are theoretically grown. Um, my retirement age is approaching, and I have time to do it. And let's make it happen. I need help. I need people who can come in and contribute content to the WoW signal. There's lots of ways you can do that. You can get in. These WoW signal pubs are just free for alls. They don't really. I don't consider them content in the same way that I consider an actual episode content. Um, the rehearsals are even less so. The rehearsals are just random chatter. Um, but let's make sure we have stuff that works. And actually, I'm not sure that this works. So all the stuff I'm saying may be going out into the bit bucket. But if you want to contribute to the WoW signal, first of all, please listen to the older episodes. Get a sense. You don't have to listen to all of them, but get a sense of what's there. And then take that information and say, well, could I contribute to this? Are these the kind of topics that I'm interested in? And there's different ways you can do it. One way you can go interview somebody and just drop the interview with me, and I will fold it into an episode. Another way you can do it is you participate in an interview that I'm conducting with someone else. And another way is just write a piece, an essay or some reportage on an important topic. Record it, and if you're not comfortable recording it, we can do a Zoom meeting or whatever and record that. So there's lots of ways we can handle it. If the technical side is what's slowing you down, don't let that happen. All you need is a microphone and a computer, and you don't even need please don't buy an expensive microphone. I'm using a pretty cheap one right here. Where is it? Yeah, right here. An inexpensive lav mic right now. It's not the best mic I have, but it's much easier to deal with. So, loud, soft. So anyway, I would hope that if you're interested, you would participate. You can expect to spend, for each item that you contribute, you expect to spend several hours working on it. Maybe many more hours depending on how much research you have to do. And I have done that quite a bit over the years, and I just barely snuck it into my other activities, kind of bootlegged a little time off of things that I should have been doing. So your help would be appreciated if you're the kind of person who can do that and can enjoy that, because you're not going to get paid. We don't do this for money. We don't have ads. We don't have any really any way of monetizing the podcast, and we're not looking for that. Nor do I care. I do it because I'm interested in what I'm doing. So anyway, if you're thinking of getting a podcast yourself, but you don't really want to do the whole 9 yards of getting into podcasting, which is complicated if you do it right, just join my team, and you'll have a lot of independence, a lot of freedom, a lot of editorial control. I maintain final say, but only very loosely. So let's do that, okay? And let's have some, we're going to have some Wow Signal pubs, which will just be fun conversations. And we'll have those maybe about 6 times a year, every 2 months or so. The rehearsals will be just for people who are unfamiliar with their equipment or what it takes to be on a Zoom call and want to just kind of get some experience doing that before they get on the air. We've had a lot of fun with these in the past. We did the Unseen Pub quite a number of times. It's all on YouTube, still there, under the Unseen podcast. So anyway, looks like no one's going to join me, so I'm going to sign off and stop the stream. If anybody is interested in another technical rehearsal before the next pub, just email me, wowsignalpodcast@gmail.com, and I will set up a time and we can work through any issues you have. I guess again, that's wowsignalpodcast@gmail.com. If you're interested in participating as a content contributor, that's the same. Use the same email, and hopefully I'll hear from you soon.